Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hi yogis, welcome back. I'm Erica. I have put together a chair routine today for yoga, chair yoga, so grab yourself a chair. You can grab a couple props if you'd like. You don't have to. I will do the whole exercise without, but also cue if you do have props. So if you have a block, grab it. If you don't, you could use a book. Obviously my bookcase is behind me, so something like that in your home. And then if you have a strap, a scarf will work, a old tie, a long hand towel, anything that would give you just that extra added inches that you need, maybe to pull your foot a little closer, bring your knee a little closer, specifically if you have an artificial hip or an artificial knee or just aches and pains that hurt when you move a certain way. So make sure you've got the props that you need, and we will begin. I'm gonna have you take your chair, sit it at the very top of your mat, and then sit your booty all the way back to the back of your chair, and we'll start in Shavasana, finding a way to center ourselves down, getting your sits bones directly into the chair, shoulders dropped away from your ears, hands facing up, but allowing your hands to rest gently on your lap. Taking a couple of deep breaths. Inhale up, hold your breath at the top, and exhale, blow everything away. And inhale, hold your breath, and exhale. One more time, inhale, pause at the top, and exhale. Good, take a second here to close your eyes if you haven't already, and just scan your body starting from the top of your head all the way down to your toes, slowly moving over every single bone in your body, starting with your skull, working through your eye sockets, your nose, your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, down your arms, your elbows, your wrists, out your fingers, maybe wiggling your fingers a little to let some energy out. And coming back up to your shoulders, down through your chest, through all of your ribs, through your core, settling in around your hips, wrapping around your tailbone, coming down into your legs, your femurs, moving through your knees, down through your shins. Keep breathing. And finally down into your ankles, your heels, and out your toes. Take a deep breath in. And exhale. Good. Move to the front of your chair. Open your eyes first. Now move to the front of your chair. So you're sitting just comfortably on the edge. Your feet are secure into the ground. Sit up as tall as you can, and we'll start just by warming up our spine. So take your hands, flip them over so that they are facing down on your knees, and we will begin just simply warming up the base of our spine, so pelvic tilt. So just rocking yourself forward, letting your tailbone flare out behind you, and then rocking over your tailbone, kind of sucking in the very lowest part of your core. And inhale as you rock forward, and exhale, rocking over that tailbone, stretching through the very lowest part of your back. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. On your next inhale, sit up nice and tall, moving through some cat-cows. So I want you to inhale and pull yourself forward, really lifting your chin, accentuate your chest forward. And then exhale, tuck your chin round through your back, come over your tailbone. Good, inhale into that cow pose, sit up tall. Exhale, round. Inhale, lift, expand through your chest, your ribs. And exhale, collapse, round, come in, inhale up. Exhale. Good, coming to your neutral spine. Moving into barrel rolls, so coming back to that cow pose, inhale, lifting. As you exhale, move over to your side, round through your back as the back of your chair scrapes with your spine, over to the other side and up through the center. Again, making that cow pose. And then over to the side, exhale as you round through that cat, over and up. Keep moving with your breath. Good, pausing here. And we'll switch, go the other way. Start your exhale as you descend to the side, back through the back, arching through your back. Inhaling back up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, good. Pausing here, sitting straight up. Reassess your shoulders are over your hips. Make sure you're not leaning too far forward or back. Feet are firmly planted into the ground. We're gonna work on those shoulders by doing some shoulder shrugs, up, back, and down. Let your hands just fall wherever they need to. Sometimes it helps to bend your elbows up. Let your hands drop. Whatever feels natural here. Breathe. One more. Good, let your shoulders stay down. Let your hands be heavy. As you exhale, bring your chin to your chest, working on the very top of your spine. Breathe, allow that chin tucking down to stretch out the back of your neck. It's a big day around here. I washed my hair. Big day. And on your next inhale, raise your chin so it's parallel with the ground. And then you're gonna exhale, look over towards your right shoulder. Make sure the shoulder stays down. Inhale. And exhale, trace your chin across the floor and over to your left side. And inhale up. Exhale, move across. Inhale up. Exhale, move across. Keep those shoulders down. They want to creep up. Exhale. One more time each side. Good, exhale, move across your body. Inhale. And exhale, coming to the center, chin parallel with the ground. As you inhale, lift your hands up above your head. They don't have to come to a touch. Make sure your shoulders are down, your forearms are reaching towards each other. Sitting up nice and tall here, bring your belly in. Make sure your back is not arched. You're not accentuating your chest forward. You're straight up and down. And as you exhale, I want you to bring your right hand, hopefully I'm mirroring you guys, down towards your chair. Or if you have your block, this is a great time to put that block or book on the floor. Put that right hand down. Reach up with that left hand and then over to the side. Make sure that left glute stays down on your chair. If you find yourself tilting, reaching, but your cheeks are lifting, you're cheating. Put that cheek down and then shorten your stretch. Working through your side body. Good, inhale, lift through the core. Try not to push off of that block or your chair. And then we'll switch that block into the other hand, laying that block or book down, or simply grabbing the side of your chair, reach up and then over. I'm gonna use my block since I have it. Make sure that right cheek stays down. Don't lift. If you lift your cheek, keep it down. And then stretch, feel that rib cage opening. Your hip, between your hip and your rib cage getting longer. Good, inhale, reach everything up, engage your core to do so. And we'll switch to the opposite side again. So right hand down, left hand reaches, reassess those hips, breathe. Good, inhale, lift up, switch, exhale, left hand down. Reach and stretch. When you think you've gone as far as you can, then I want you to inhale. Exhale. Good, inhale, lift yourself up. Use that core. One more time. because it feels so good. See if you can go a little further by bending this right arm down. Good, inhale up. Exhale. Maybe a little further. Inhale, coming back up. Good. Keep a hold of this block. Allow your hands to come out in front of you. And then take your shoulders, put them back in their sockets so they're not pulling forward. And we're going to open twist so the block stays in front of your body. Your right hand will go to the back of your chair, maybe reaching for the back. Notice how my knees and hips automatically wanted to twist with me. Try and keep your knees and your hips square to the front of your mat or front of your chair, and twist at your core. Don't worry about your shoulders and your neck. They'll do what they need to do. I'm thinking more about the lowest part of your core up to your rib cage. And breathe. And inhale, back to center, switch that block. That block stays in the center. And open twist to your left. Again, watch your knees, watch your hips, reassess, make the changes you need to, and just notice the difference of your body from one side to the other. Just notice. You don't have to fix it. You don't have to worry about it. Just notice. Good. Inhale. Back to center. Switch that block. Switch those hands. Block stays in front. See if you can go a little deeper. Don't push. Don't put anything to the edge where it burns and aches or cracks or pops, that it's uncomfortable. Inhale. Come back to center. Switch again. Just find that edge right before anything starts to really hurt. Good, back to center. And then let your hands come down, maybe let that block rest on the floor next to you, moving towards our legs. First, we're gonna bring our left foot is gonna stay on the ground, and our right foot is gonna come up, right knee is gonna come up. Here's a great chance to use that scarf, towel, strap, belt, a tie, or interlace your fingers. Bring that knee as close as you can. Now, notice you're gonna wanna slouch over because we're human. Sit up as tall as you can. Fight that slouch. Bring those shoulders back and your knee up to your collarbone. Not out to your armpit. We'll get there. Collarbone. Hug it in. See my right foot nice and flexed? Keep it flexed. Deep breaths. Good. Now we're going to exhale, drop that knee a little bit. Open that up to your armpit. And then lift that knee back up, opening that hip joint a little deeper, a little differently. Maybe you can reach down a little further and pull a little tighter. Keep that foot flexed. That will protect your knee the whole time. Well, pretty much every workout you do. Good. As you exhale, I want you to bring that foot over and either cross your ankle to your knee, or if that is not a reachable position for you, cross your ankles together down on the floor. Oh, I don't know if you can see me. There. You can see the very top of my flesh. My ankles are crossed down low, and let this knee just fall out to the side. That will get into that hip joint. Especially if you have an artificial hip, make sure you're taking great care. If you're up here, make sure this foot is flexed. If you can see the sole of your foot, that's not a flexed foot. That foot sole should be pointing away from you, or maybe at your neighbor. Allow this knee to drop. It will open your hip joint. Sit up nice and tall. Maybe it feels good to shake or wiggle or wag or rock, whatever you want to call this. Maybe it feels good to put a little extra pressure, not a lot. Maybe it feels good to put your head down, resting in your hands. Maybe that's a ridiculous idea. Wherever you're at, just listen to this hip joint. Breathe deeply. If you're a regular chair student of mine, you know that I always talk about our root chakra right here when we're in this pose. I always talk about this is where you hold your anger and your grief and your crabbiness. So when we do these hip openers in the various ways that we will, you might feel a little come up. Just breathe through it. I've noticed during this quarantine time, my hips are so tight, and I think it's that filled up anxiety and that I don't know what's next, that trauma response, that grief response that's been triggered. So the more we can do this, the more you can breathe, the better you feel. Okay, we're gonna get out of this, so if you are rocking, Hold the center, grab your right elbow, scoop around that right knee. Bring that right knee and foot up gingerly. Let that foot square with the ground. And then slowly let your hip back down, your knee back down, your foot back down. And then we'll switch to the other side, so make sure your right foot is planted into the earth, and then grab this knee, bring it up. Again, strap, scarf, belt, tie, whatever, towel, whatever you need. And then bring that knee straight up to your collarbone. Sit up nice and tall, and keep breathing. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Shimmy those shoulders down and away. It's supposed to be hard to breathe. It's wind removing to take that knee and shove it into your lungs or into your rib cage, forcing your lungs to exercise. At the same time, you're stretching through that hip flexor, that hamstring, that glute. Good, exhale, drop that knee, take that knee over to the outside, and then pull up so you're opening into your armpit. Make sure you're sitting as tall as you can. I'm going to check my notes while I'm doing this. Good, and then we're going to grab for that ankle and move back into that figure four. Again, if you notice that this is an impossible pose to get into, drop those ankles so they're crossing down at the floor. If you're able to comfortably rest your ankle on top of your knee and this foot can stay flexed, remember, that's not flexed. That is flexed. That sole is away from you. And then let this knee drop. Right away, you're going to notice, ooh, one hip is tighter than the other, or both my hips are equally tight, or both my hips are equally open. I'm jealous. I'm jealous if your hips are open. And if they aren't, you are normal. So just allow that rock, that wiggle, that wag, that movement. Just keep breathing. Hopefully you can hear my breath. I'm trying to accentuate, exaggerate it for you. Sometimes this AirPod picks up, sometimes it doesn't. So I always talk as though only my phone is picking up my voice. Hopefully it's helpful. Good, remember you can always put that arm down, put your head down. Allow a little bit more flexion to go into that hip. Just be gentle. There's no reason to force it or crank it. You still have to get through the rest of your day. And I don't want to hear, oh, that chair yoga girl hurt me. Actually, I wouldn't hear that, so go ahead. No, kidding. Okay, hold your center, hold that rock still. Take your left arm and elbow, wrap it underneath your knee. Bring that knee back to your chest, your foot square with the ground, and then let that leg come down. Good. Moving into eagle legs or cow face legs. It's basically just how you would sit in church or how you would sit in public. As a lady, you would bring your right leg up and cross over. Again, if you have artificial hips and you're not able to do this internal squeeze of your inner thighs, cross down here at your ankles. Sit up as tall as you can. Bring your knees together. You're going to sit up there and continually bring your knees together. If you are crossed up here, continually bring the inner thighs together as though they're two magnets. And then if you're flexible enough or your bones are bendy enough, you can take your ankle and wrap it behind your other one. I used to be able to do that. I can't anymore. I don't know what happened. But anyway, wherever you're at, just make sure your legs are forcing in with all the muscle. You're squeezing, 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 squeezing. And then you're going to sit up nice and tall towards the front of your chair. Bring your hands up and then reassess your spine. Make sure your belly is in. You're not arching back. That's very normal to do. So reassess that spine. Good, and we're going to twist. Bring your left hand down on top of your right leg and bring that right hand behind you. Reassess those legs, sitting up as tall as you can. And inhale, back to center. Bring both of your hands up and exhale. Twist like a little counter twist the other way. And inhale, back to center. Reach tall, breathe. And exhale, hands through heart center. When your hands reach the center, you're going to hinge forward at your hips. Squeeze your legs together, coming towards a forward fold. Allowing your chest and your chin to stay lifted to keep this through your hips. Eventually, we'll drop your chin Drop your chest. Try to keep your breath normal. Allow this stretch to go to your low back. Maybe it's in your thoracic spine as you breathe. Good, inhale, lift up from your core, and we'll switch our legs. So put your right leg down. Lift that left leg and assess where you need to be. Maybe your leg can come up and it couldn't on the other side. Maybe they both need to be connected at your ankle, wherever you're at. Again, magnetize everything together, pulling everything to the inside. And if you start to cramp on one side or the other, just sit up tall, breathe, kind of loosen, and then reassess coming back in. Inhale, sweep your hands up high, and exhale, bring your right hand down to your left leg and twist. Bring those shoulders down. It's so easy to let them creep up. And inhale, back through center and counter twist the other way. And inhale, back through center. Exhale, your hands to heart center. Hinge forward at your hips. Squeeze your legs and forward fold. Keep your chest and your chin lifted. Good, and then exhale. Allow everything to round in, your chin coming in, your back rounding around. Good. Inhale your way back up. Take your legs down to the ground, and then make sure you have enough room to the side of you. We're going to go through a wide-legged series. So take your legs as wide as your mat, maybe a little wider. Your heels will be in, your toes will be out. And then make sure if you have a block or a book, you're using it, you're going to put it right directly in front of you. Sit up as tall as you can and come to the edge of your chair. Sometimes I wiggle off the edge of my chair because I get too far. So make sure that you are secure. You're not going to fall. If you fall, leave me a comment. Okay, inhale. Raise your hands, bring your body up tall, bring your spine up tall, shoulders down, pinch those forearms together. As you exhale, hinge forward at your hips, allow your hands to float down, and either keep your head up if you have unmedicated high blood pressure, or allow your head to drop down. Here's where you can use your block or your book, or just use the floor, getting deep into those hip sockets. Breathe here. Inhale, halfway lift, engage your core, press through your heels. You could even lift your toes. And then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, engage your core to lift yourself back up. Hands come straight up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Watch your stomach, don't let it pull you forward. Inhale, sweep your hands up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise, hands come up. Exhale, through heart center. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, heart center. Good, keep your legs there. Moving through a side bend series and twists with your legs as wide as possible. You're gonna move your block, maybe use it to the side of you. This is gonna be a little deeper into this hip socket, so really if you need, just hold on to the side of your chair. So keep your legs nice and wide, sit up nice and tall, sits bones are firmly into your chair. Inhale your way up. Exhale, side bend, that right hand grabs for the right side of your chair, reaching tall and extending over. See if you can get this stretch to be from the bottom of your rib cage to the top of your hip, moving into that hip flexor down into your quad. That'd be really deep. Good, inhale, reach up both hands. Exhale, left hand down, stretch and reach over towards your left side. Keep that right cheek down. Inhale, both hands come up. This time, straighten your left leg. So one leg is straight, you're digging into that heel so you still have the perfect amount of balance. And this right foot stays bent, right knee bent, right foot secure into the ground. As you exhale, drop that right hand, stretch and reach over. Allow that stretch to go down your leg, maybe point your toe. I'm sorry, you can't see my leg very well. My toe is pointed. Good, inhale, breathe, reach. Switch your legs, bend that left, straighten that right, heel into the ground. Ooh, big fat cramp there. Okay, exhale, hand comes down, stretch and reach, and then point that right toe. And inhale, coming back up. And exhale, hands through heart center, bring your knees back into a bent position, and then coming back, heel, toe, your feet together. Good, now that our hips are a little warm, our back is warmed, our shoulders are ready to go. Let's stand. So, come to a standing position. I'm gonna go behind my chair, and hopefully you can see as much as possible. If not, you know what? I'm just gonna turn sideways. I'm gonna bring my chair so I'm sideways, but y'all can see the motion that I'm making on my chair, or on my mat. So you can keep your chair facing front and then just stand behind your chair. You don't have to do what I'm doing. So anyway, we're here behind our chair. Hopefully your chair has a back. If it doesn't, you can use a bar stool, but it's a little bit harder. You're gonna get, out of alignment with your spine. So make sure that you have something that is about this height. You can also just use a railing. So if you're in your living room and you have a railing you can get to, that's usually about the right height too. Or counter, whatever. So standing back behind this chair or railing or counter, just a couple of feet. Your feet are hip width distance apart. Your kneecaps are lifted by engaging those quads. Tuck that tailbone under, bringing your belly up and in. And then standing up as tall as you can, roll those shoulders up, rock back and down. And allow your hands to reach energetically for the ground. Standing in Tadasana. Glutes are engaged. Good, and as you inhale, reach for the back of your chair. I'm going to just simply roll up on top of your toes and then roll back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Warming up the calves. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, now keep going. Keep breathing. But I want you to notice that you kind of create the same path on your feet each and every time. So I want you to mindfully move to the outside edges of your feet as you roll up. And then as you roll back, outside edges, massaging your feet. Now inside edges, roll up. Inside edges, roll back. Outside edges. Outside edges, back. Inside edges, massaging every ligament. Inside edges, back. Straight up, right directly through your arch and back. Keep breathing. Good, keep going straight up the front. Outside edges and up. Outside edges and back. Inside edges up. Inside edges back. Good, stay right there. Moving into, we're going to stand here. We're going to move into a pyramid pose. So you're going to take that chair is going to be your safety net. So make sure it's not going to wiggle or move. Obviously I'm on carpet, so I'm not moving anywhere. I am going to move my mat so that you can, so I don't slip on the carpet. So, standing in that Tadasana pose, pulling those hips under and through, shoulders up, back, and down, moving into a pyramid pose. So stepping back with your right foot. Make sure it's back far enough that you can still get your heel on the ground. It's not too far, but it's also not like that. It's not too close either. So step back far enough, and then you're going to bend through this left foot. So make sure that your knee doesn't go over your ankle. That would be bad form. Make sure this knee is stacked on top of that ankle. So you might have to take a half a step forward and allow your hips to kind of settle down, moving into that pose. It's very familiar. It looks like, well, this is high crescent, but we're moving into pyramid. So I'm just setting you up so that you can feel this stretch through your right hip flexor, the top of this right quad. And then slowly, we're going to straighten that left leg. Now your right heel should be on the ground. You can start to lean forward on your chair. That feels good. You're going to stretch through that left hamstring and that right calf. Stay here. Maybe you've noticed that you took too far of a step back on that right foot. Maybe step forward just a little. But wherever you're at, I want you to think about taking your left hip back and your right hip forward. I've kind of exaggerated that for you in the camera so you can see. As soon as you do that, you'll get a deeper stretch through your right calf. You didn't even know your right calf was that tight, did you? The tricks. Okay, so we're going to inhale, bend through that left leg. Allow your right heel to come up. And now we're coming back to that high crescent. Bring your shoulders up above your hips, sink down into that high crescent. Leave your hands here or lift and engage. Allow your tailbone to tuck under, belly up and in, reaching towards the ceiling. And moving to a high crescent twist. So you can bring your hands back down to your chair and twist over to the side. Maybe your left hand on top of your left hip. Bringing your inner thighs together. Good. And coming back. You can also do this. Hands lifted and twist. Good. And coming back. Your choice. And then moving into a high crescent side bend. So same idea. Keep that bent in your bent left leg. And inhale, either one hand, both hands. And then we're going to twist and stretch and lean as though you were still sitting in that chair. And bring your hand down and do the opposite side. Stretch, making a curvature with your spine. And back to center. Good, bending through that back leg. Launch yourself forward, coming into that Tadasana. So standing just a couple of feet behind. Coming into those toe raisers, just to allow a little bit of blood to move through that right foot or right ankle. And we'll switch sides. So reassess, those feet are hip width distance apart. Your tailbone is tucked, your hips are pushed under. Standing up tall, belly is sucked up and in. Shoulders up, back and down. Good, holding onto the back of the chair or your railing. Step back with that left foot. Step far back as you can. Dropping that left heel to the ground, immediately letting that left hip flexor start to lengthen. And then making sure that this right foot is far enough away. A good test, of course, knee over ankle. Setting up your high crescent. But remember, we go to pyramid first. So shift that right leg straight. Maybe coming forward, belly up and in. Allowing that left heel to rest. Bring it down to the ground. Bring that right hip back, left hip forward. Stretch and reach to that right hamstring, that left calf. Good, inhale. Lift yourself back up to the top of that chair. Bend through that right knee, lift that left heel. So now you're back into that high crescent. Make sure this left leg stays straight. And you can keep your hands here, or you can lift your hands, tuck your tailbone under, belly back up and into your rib cage. Good, stay here in this high crescent, breathe. Remember, your hands can stay down. Good. Moving into that twist, keep one hand on the chair, twisting open towards the side. Or both hands are up and then twisting. Bring those inner thighs into each other. Good. Returning back to your high crescent, both hands on your chair or both hands lifted. Moving to that stretch. Both hands lifted. I think we're getting a delivery if you can hear my dogs. And then either keeping that hand on the chair and turning, listing over to the side. And then repeating the other side. Switching your hands. Making a C with your spine. Good. Bend through that back leg. Launch yourself forward into that Tadasana. Wiggling out your your feet, your toes. Maybe cracking those toes by rolling over the edge. Doing those toe raisers, those calf raisers one more time. Good. Moving into a Warrior Two Half Moon series, and then we'll wrap things up with a seated little arm workout. So if your chair is too tall and you're not able to bend over and reach, spin your chair around so you're no longer going to use the back of this chair. You can use the front of your chair. If you don't have a back to your chair, you'll be fine. So I'm going to leave my chair like this. I'm just able to barely reach over the edge. So we're going to simply step back or step to that Tadasana, standing feet hip width distance apart. Scoop those hips under, stand up tall. And then take your hands under your chair, step back with your right foot, opening up to Warrior Two. So that back right foot, those toes are lengthwise of your mat. And then bend through this left knee. And you can bend any degree, just make sure you can see those left toes. If you can't, it means your knee is collapsing in. Engage the outside of your leg to pull that leg out to the side. And then sinking here, you can keep this left hand on top of your chair. And you can raise that right hand if you'd like. Make sure your shoulders stay down. Tuck those hips under, pushing them to the opposite side of your mat. If you'd like, raise that left hand and then stare over your left fingers. Good, launching yourself to from Warrior Two to Half Moon. So safest way is to grab the back of your chair, bend this back leg, lift up with your right hand, and then over the edge, allow that left hand to come down to the chair as you lift your right foot, flexed right foot as high as you can. Stay there. Good. Exhale your way back to that Warrior Two, landing softly. Good. Left hand comes down, swing that right hand around, right toes come back around, bend, launch yourself back up to that Tadasana. Feet hip width distance apart. We'll do it on the other side. Step back with your left foot, open up to that Warrior Two. Sinking down, checking your alignment, make sure your heel dissects the arch on your back foot. You can see those toes, engage that outer thigh. Shoulders aren't leaning. Your shoulders are above your hips. Your hips are directly above the floor. Sink. And of course, either leave your right hand on the chair and lift your left hand, or lift your right hand and look over. Strong through your legs. Breathe deep. Good, moving into that half moon, grab the back of your chair, bend through that back leg, lift your left hand as you launch yourself up and over. Right hand comes down, left leg gets lifted. Now, you don't have to lift it that far. It can just be a couple of inches. Just keep that foot flexed and lift as high as you can. Good, exhale, coming back down to that Warrior Two. Ooh, another little cramp there. Good. Bring that left hand around, bring those left toes forward, bend through that back leg, picking yourself back up. Excellent. Let's move back to our seated kind of cool down. So bring yourself back around to your chair. Taking a minute to assess how your hips feel. Maybe they feel better, maybe they feel a little worked, maybe they feel a little achy. It's okay, we're just working some goo out. So they might feel all of those things all at the same time. So sit yourself as close to the edge and we'll wrap up with some shoulder work. So first, just shoulder shrugs, up, back and down. Good. Inhale, take your hands out as far as you can. As you exhale, take your right arm under your left, winding up your hands, and then lift your elbows to the height of your chin. Stay here, just let your your shoulder blades pull behind you. Good, exhale, hinge forward at your hips, Allow your core to gently lower you down, arms into your lap. Breathe. Breathe through your back body. Let your spine lift to the ceiling. And inhale your way back up. Exhale your arms out. Inhale, reach. Exhale, left arm under, right arm on top, winding up. Of course, you can always set your hands on top of your shoulders. Find your way to comfort. Allow those shoulder blades to pull, opening through your back. And exhale, hinge forward at the hips. Bring that belly in and lower yourself down, letting those arms rest in your lap. Breathe through your back body. Good, inhale. Lift up as high as you can back. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, take your hands back behind you so you're grabbing the very back of your chair. And then you're gonna inhale, lift your chin and your chest, doing a little mini back bend. And exhale, let go of your chair, tuck your chin, round through your back, let everything come forward. Maybe your hands reach down towards your shins. Breathe. Inhale, lifting up. Grab that chair, accentuate your back. Exhale, tuck your chin, round through your back. Good, and inhale, coming back up to center. Good, shrug those shoulders. Excellent. Move back to the back of your chair. We've reached the end, folks. The ride is over. Take your booty all the way back. Take your palms, lifting them towards the ceiling, but let them rest on your legs so your palms are just facing the ceiling. Sitting back in your chair comfortably, take your shoulders back down. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Good. Scan your body one more time. We're going to start at your toes this time and work your way up, thinking about every muscle. First time we thought about every bone. Now we're thinking about every muscle. Through your toes, your feet, your ankles, your calves, around your knees, up into your thighs, your quads, your hamstrings, your glutes, your abdomen, your low back muscles, through the middle of your back, up through your shoulders, your biceps, your triceps, up into your neck. You worked everything. Hopefully this workout leaves you feeling a little lighter, maybe a little taller, a little stretched. You created a little space through your side body, energized and ready to take on the day or take on the night, whichever part of the day you're watching this. And with your next inhale, bring your hands to heart center. Let your thumbs touch your chest wall, sitting up away from your chair. Drop your shoulders down. Inhale, up, and exhale. Stay firm into the ground, rooted into your chair. Thank you all for joining me. It was my honor and privilege to teach. Hopefully this class, this routine will bring some lightness to your quarantine day. And maybe you're watching this and we're out of quarantine and holy heck, let's go do something. Anyway, smile, breathe, do good, be good, wash your hands. See you next time. Namaste. Bye, everybody. I'm going to grab my trusty little remote. Have a great day. See you next time.